So here's the thing. I'm going to tee you up real nice on this intro here, but I'm expecting a very specific response from you. And based on your response, you will either garner a great deal of respect for me or you will lose a great deal of respect from me.
Oh, the
So
pressure. The pressure.
it shouldn't be hard, but I'm hoping if you nail it, you're going to make my day. You're going to make my day. But
You know,
if you
if I miss it, I'll make your day too. So
if you miss it, it's going to put a damper on the whole thing. So, all
well,
right,
that's
you
a
ready?
lot of pressure.
Well, I'm sorry. This is showbiz, man. You know,
Well, you should have just done it when and let the chips fall where they may. Now I'm like overthinking things.
I thought I'd give you at least a fighting chance.
Well,
So,
if it's that obvious, I wouldn't need a fighting chance.
well, this might be true, but here we go. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Johngy or Else podcast. As always and forevermore, I am who else but Tommy Else, and with me as always is the man on the beat from johngysbeat.com, Mr. Jonathan Boom Boom Robleski.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah,
Man.
it's not doing anything for me. Boom,
Uh,
boom.
all right, now you do it to me. Give me the same intro, same middle name.
For the John GRL's podcast, I am joined by who else but Tommy Boom Boom Else.
Hi there.
Wow. Welcome
Man.
back, Cotter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a 40-year-old reference.
Well, how old are you, man? I mean, I'm younger than you, and I know the show. That's Freddie Boom Boom Washington right there.
I'm well aware of it. Do you know why
This,
he was called Boom Boom?
yeah, because when he played the bass, it went boom, boom,
Very
boom,
good.
boom, boom,
Yes.
boom. See,
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Carter. Yeah, I mean, come on. If you had said it, if you had just leaned into the mic and just gave me a hi there, I mean, it would have made my day. I knew that the odds were slim, but you know. So nice
Just set me up
background
to
there.
fail.
This guy decides now to
Well, I didn't want to risk getting scolded again. Is this
man,
enough?
man.
Should I have it on
Well,
my glasses too? Like you could do that shading stuff.
that would be cool actually, because you could get round ones with the logo on both sides of it. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I'll
We
work
can,
on that.
and then we can get yeah. I mean, then those can be like, and that'll be your gimmick. I won't wear them, and and then like people can go on the merch store and get their own John G podcast glasses. Be like some sunglasses or something.
The sunglasses were a gimmick of a long ago, hopefully forgotten partner of mine on other projects. That was his gimmick.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll shade away
uh,
with sunglasses.
well, you at least have a legitimate reason to wear sunglasses. So
And again, technically, they're not sunglasses.
they're prescription glasses, but they're
No, well, yeah, they are prescription glasses, but they're not sunglasses. They are I forgot what they're called now. No, they're not sunglasses.
Are they built specifically for your light sensitivity you have?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But there's a name for it. I mean, I'm not the only one that has them, but
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure.
I forget the name of it.
Yeah. Well, no, this is good for people to hear because John is, on the surface, people might think John's just wearing sunglasses because, he thinks
I'm
he's
cool.
too cool for school, but it's not the case. Neither of those statements are actually. And but yeah, so that's a little insight into John G right there.
There you go.
I'm not even going to ask how you're doing. I want to just dive right into this last weekend, man, because you just went out to New York. You went to the New York Comi-Con and you got to see your guy Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden. Walk us through it. You get to New York. You're staying at the Ritz.
Staying at
I
the Ritz,
mean,
32nd floor, southern view. You can see the Empire State Building. You can see
man,
Statue of Liberty. Everything, man. It was wonderful. The folks at the Ritz were fantastic.
yeah.
My God, yeah. It was an unbelievable.
Would you
You
say
know,
that's your best hotel experience?
um, singularly yes, but my buddies and I stayed at the Rittenhouse in Philadelphia, which is one of the oldest and most classic hotels. That was
Okay.
also through Global Traveler. That was probably about 20 and maybe about 18, 15 years ago. That was that was comparable in a different way. It wasn't
Yeah, it's a
as modern,
different type of place. Yeah.
yeah, but it was equally as elegant. But this was phenomenal. The dinner at the Zatania, which is their attached restaurant, created by Chef Jose Andres. I had a wonderful, like a pistachio eggplant thing for an appetizer. I had grilled squid for dinner, and and it sounds very simple, but I had this apricot dessert, which is like baked apricots sitting on top of like a Greek yogurt with pistachio dust, and it sounds just relatively simple, but man, the layers and the textures were phenomenal. It was one of the best desserts I've ever had.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So the
So
Go ahead.
you were checking in, while you were at Comic-Con and giving me updates and stuff, and you said that it was like you've been to Comic-Con here in Chicago and everything, but it was like that times 10. You said it was just
Yeah, I've never
unbelievable.
seen anything like this. This is like walking into a like Grand
I mean,
Central Station, no
you've
pun
been to
intended.
you've been about every kind of convention on the planet. Would you say this
Yeah,
was like the biggest thing you've ever been
biggest,
to?
biggest,
Wow.
most crowded, very well organized. I have to say, like even the lines and stuff to get in, they ran it very smoothly. There was never any major hiccups. But man, it was just the you've been to Wizard World. I think you've
Yeah.
been to P2E2 as well.
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
the the space that this took up was probably I couldn't even guess 10 times the space, and the crowd was probably 20 times, if that, if not. They say that it surpassed San Diego.
Wow.
And it's unconfirmed, but that's what I heard. And I've never been to the San Diego one, but this was like just ridiculously crowded. It was insane. Yeah.
Wow. So that's a lot of walking around, I would imagine then. I mean,
I
like,
logged in. I
is
had
it?
my thing on one
Yeah.
day. I logged in like 9.5 miles,
Wow.
including back and forth from the hotel. But the
Yeah.
hotel was roughly less than a mile from the place, so maybe about 7.5 miles at the
So,
convention.
so is it like where is it in? Like what kind of building? How is it spread out?
It's in the Javits Center, which is right along the Hudson River line, Billy Joel,
Okay.
um, and it's on 2 floors, and just huge. The stairs, elevator, escalators, whatever you wanted to take. The main floor, which was the lower floor, had like the artists and the celebrities and the anime and goofy stuff like that. The upper floor had all the vendors, and the
Yeah.
vendors literally took the whole upper floor. It was just wall to wall vendors. I
Wow.
had a couple of people I know. One of them was the parents of a DePaul softball player, and she said, "Hey, can you get a picture of my booth?" She helped fabricate one of the booths that was there
Gotcha.
from
Yeah.
Chicago, and it was like messenger or
Yeah.
whatever out there. And I took a few pictures, but I said like I can't even get any decent shot. Like I couldn't get a shot
There's
from
too many
far away.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, to take the whole thing in. So that's how insanely crowded it was.
Wow. And what is like the difference like in ticket price between them and Chicago?
Unfortunately, I wouldn't know that. I had a
Well,
press
I
pass.
I I mean, I know you got in on your credentials, but I mean, like, I'm just wondering, like, how much more do they pay to get into that one versus say Chicago? Because it sounds like, you get like a 3-day pass for Chicago. I mean, you can get through the whole thing pretty much in the first day, day and a half or something if you really scour through everything, but I think you would get more bang for your buck at what you're talking about. I mean, that sounds like you could spend a whole day on just one floor,
Yeah, you could never. I was talking to somebody about that. You could not, if you truly wanted to see everything and spend a decent time with stuff that you had interest, you would never be able to do it in one day. Is
Right.
and it was so big and so expansive that I had to like make plans. Like usually I would run back and forth from the artist alley to this to that. And this was like you couldn't do that. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna hit the artist alley in
You
the
had to
morning.
map it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it made sense. Yeah. The
Yeah. There was no
time.
going back and forth. Like that would just be a waste of time and effort.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately I don't know the ticket prices.
Oh, well, I can look it up. I was just curious. I mean, so you met up with, I mean, talk about some of the people you saw when you were out there. You got to, rub
Well,
elbows with some folks out there as you do.
there were a lot of funny, there were a lot of wrestlers out there, of course, but some of the funnier ones that I think I posted was I went to the one booth, Heroes Hideout, and the Godfather was there, and he
Yeah.
was with Ron Simmons. And Godfather knows me from many other times I've run into him, and he, of course, calls me Jay Leno. So I'm about 10 feet away, and he's talking to some fan, and all of a sudden he like gets up and starts yelling for Jay Leno. So I go to him, and then he Simmons is sitting next to me. He kind of hits Simmons in the arm and goes, "This is Jay Leno." And Simmons does his damn. And then
Yeah.
he goes, "Yeah, you do look like Jay Leno." And I said, "Well, it's funny because somebody mentioned that I look like David Lynch, which I've never heard before." And Simmons goes, "F that shit. No, no, no. You're Jay Leno from now on." And then he then the next day
So
I go back.
real quick. So you're
Yeah.
going to censor fuck, but then you're going to say shit.
Well, shit is allowed. Yeah. Yeah. I can,
This whole podcast, anything's allowed. You can say whatever
well,
you want.
I understand, but I have certain standards I like to keep.
Unbelievable. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
so the next day I go back there and kind of the same thing happens. They both call out, and this time Rikishi's there, and Simmons taps Rikishi and Rikishi agrees and goes, "Well, I need a picture with Jay Leno, so get over here, Leno." So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That's
yeah. So
cool.
I took a picture of them, and then and the other end was
Boy, you know what would have really made that perfect though is if you were wearing your Johngy or else podcast T-shirt when you were there.
So anyway,
Think about the photo you would have
so
gotten.
the next day or during the day, there were three other wrestlers were in the celebrity area, and that was Mick Foley, Britt Baker, and Jack Perry, who we've seen at Resistance back in the day.
Yeah.
And, Mick had all his characters. He had all the gimmicks. He had the do love glasses.
Saw that.
And it was funny because and he started yelling at me for being a traitor with Britt Baker. And I said, "Well, Mick, it's Britt Baker. Wouldn't you'd be standing in line too?" And he agreed with me on that.
Yeah.
And let's see who then there was
and you said you mentioned to him that we were going to see which is coming up this weekend. We're going to go see Al Snow in his comedy show. And what was Mick's response?
What was it? Oh, L sucks. Tell him L sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll relay that message when we see him. So go ahead. Anyway, so you got to see all three faces of Foley. That was cool.
I did. I completely ran into Chicago's very own Colt Cabana.
I saw that. Yeah.
Who actually stopped me and said, "Hey, you're from Chicago."
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed and I said, "Well, how do you know that?" He goes, "I know you. I've seen you around all the places," which was kind of funny because I mean, Colt Cabana's not John Cena level, but he's fairly big.
Everybody more or less. I mean, if you are into wrestling, you know who Colt Cabana is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was pretty cool. Met Danhausen, met Rebel from.
You've met Danhausen before, though, right?
I have. Yeah, I have. And actually, I gave him. I had him sign a picture of him with me, and he signed it to John Hausen. He's supposed to sign it to John G. Hausen, but he screwed up, so it just was John Hausen.
Okay.
Who might argue? His dad, I think I've mentioned, his dad is a very a well-known comic artist and author. So we talked about that for a little bit.
That's cool.
And I met with the usual artists, Sarah Richard, Art Baldazar, Dirk Manning, who hopefully will be on our podcast sometime very soon.
Yeah.
He agreed to come on, talk about his books. Yeah. Let's see. I did not see who was there. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd had a panel. I could not get into that. The press passes do not give you access to the panels. You still have to apply for them.
Yeah.
And it's like ridiculous. Like in Chicago, you can get into a panel. You say you want, like you have to register for most of them, but you could still probably get in them.
Yeah.
But this was like, you could I knew some people that came as couples and they couldn't even, like one would get in and the other wouldn't. Like you couldn't even register as a couple,
Right.
But that was supposedly a real heartwarming moment with Michael
Yeah,
J.
that's what I heard. It was like it was a big deal, and there was like a real nice moment in the whole
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
and
that's
he's
cool.
not looking good, unfortunately. So prayers to Michael J. I love
Yeah.
Michael J. is one of my favorites.
No, I'm a Michael. I'm a Alex P. Keaton guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Teen Wolf guy. I'm a Back to the Future guy. I love a little. And then what was the one he was
Oh, and
in?
Svengoolie, of course, and who
Oh
like
yeah.
it
Well,
was
yeah,
funny because
you
like
know
you would
Sven
think,
Gulli, yeah.
yeah, like I didn't think he would be quite as popular. He might have been more popular there. Well, probably because it's a rare appearance. But
Right.
as soon as I walked in Saturday, because he was only there Saturday and Sunday. As soon as I walked in Saturday, I went to his booth. The line was already cut off.
Wow.
But I knew Jim Roach, his executive producer, and I kind of pulled
Yeah.
my press
Well,
pass thing.
good for him, man. Sven Gulli deserves that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm happy for him. That's awesome.
yeah, he was a really Sven's Rich Coe is one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet in your life. You know, you met him also.
I met him twice, and yeah, both times just absolutely just a sweetheart of a guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that was, I mean, that was it. A lot of artists, a lot of I just ran into two friends completely by just happenstance, and like the odds of that are
Yeah.
1 in 100,000.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah,
So you did that, but then Sunday night you capped off the weekend going to see your boy Billy
I
Joel.
did. Billy Joel at the Madison Square Garden, which was roughly halfway between the hotel and the Javits Center. So it was about a 4 block walk from my hotel, which was fantastic. Just, it was funny because when I was walking back from the show, I was walking with some people and we all kind of said, like, it was a great concert. There's no doubt. But
Right.
it really is more the experience of just seeing him at his home stadium where he's done 80. I think this was the
Oh
84th.
yeah.
I think it was the 84th time in this streak that he's done a show there.
Wow.
Yeah, and he sounded better than he has in the last couple of times I've seen him. Maybe it's the layoff due to COVID, not him having it, but just the pandemic,
Right.
or maybe it's because he's in New York. But he had a little extra. He seemed stronger. He seemed more alive.
Good.
And the experience was just ridiculously, just it's like seeing Michael Jordan in the stadium, Babe Ruth in Yankee Stadium. It's
Yeah,
Billy
yeah.
Joel at Madison Square Garden. Like, to me, that's
That's how you gonna top that. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know what to do now, man. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I'm glad you had a good weekend. I'm glad that you got to see your guy and made it back safe. You had a good time in the hotel,
But that's not going to compare to this weekend when you and me, baby,
Yeah.
road trip, El Snow, David Fox Mullen, Johngy or else beat shirts and hoodies. This is going to be good.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning. The hoodies are a reality now. You can purchase them on prowrestlingtees.com. Just look for the John G or else under the John G's Beat store, and you'll see them available. You like it? You said it's good quality.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yours is right here, right next to me, actually, just so I don't forget it. I actually have a few things for you. I've got
Well,
uh,
you got Paloma's comic book for me.
I do. It's
I
sitting
mean, like
it's in the
that
box
was
right
what
there.
six months ago or something
I
like that.
haven't seen you since then.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
okay. Now
no,
wait a
you
minute.
did,
Wait a minute.
and you said I forgot to bring the comic book. Yeah.
No, it's not that. I intentionally didn't bring it. What was I supposed to bring it and hand it to you at a wrestling show and it would get
Yeah, no, that's
destroyed?
true. That's true. All right, all right, all right. Take it easy. This guy, gets fired up real easy here.
Well, you were attacking me for the last
We're
several days,
well,
unmercifully.
this guy goes to New York Comic-Con. I see him in you wear your John G shirt. That yeah, of course, got to do that. Keep the branding. Or if Global Traveler's got a shirt for you to wear, I understand. And then after that, then the John G. Earls podcast shirt should be in some of these photos. Now, the alternatives that I saw was there was a plain yellow shirt that had nothing on it. There was an AEW shirt,
I
which
explained this.
you explained was like a New York Comic Con AEW shirt, which unless AEW was fitting the bill for this, I don't think that counts.
No, that
And
was
then the other one was Squared Circle Expo, which I didn't know was also funding your trip.
Why am I in defense? But no, the New York Comic-Con shirt, that was a New York Comic-Con shirt. It wasn't, it was a New York Comic-Con shirt with AEW on it, but it was from the folks of New York Comic-Con. That was my New York Comic-Con shirt to wear and promote the Comic-Con, not to promote AEW.
Okay, all right, fine.
The yellow shirt was merely because I wore that the first day, because when I got to the hotel, my room wasn't ready because I actually got on an early flight, because this is so fascinating to people. I got on an early flight and got to New York by like 8 a.m. So obviously my room wasn't ready, even though the folks there were fantastic. They're not going to have a room ready for me at 8 o'clock. So I gave him my bag, and then the guy took it wherever. And then I went, oh man, I forgot to switch shirts. Now I wasn't going to go, hey, can I have my bag back so I could switch shirts? So I just wore the shirt that I had on.
Now, here's the answer to getting around that would have made that not an issue whatsoever. If you were already wearing the shirt, it wouldn't have mattered, and you would have been able to walk away from the hotel and go, and you would have had it on day one.
Well, I haven't seen you posting pictures on your recent trip wearing a Johngy shirt.
I didn't have a Johngy shirt yet. It didn't exist.
I didn't have mine either.
You had your shirt.
No, I didn't. I just picked this up yesterday.
Oh, well, you didn't make that clear.
Because even though we love the folks at Pro Wrestling Tees, sometimes they take a little while to deliver, to produce the shirt. I just picked this up yesterday along with your shirt, which I saved several dollars of shipping and handful for you. That's the thanks I get.
Well, you didn't make that clear. And before you gave all the reasons why you wore your shirt and all the for the other shirts and stuff, you could have just saved us 10 minutes and just cut it off and said, I didn't have the shirt. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right.
And then I went to the Chicago International Film Festival yesterday, because I'm covering that for Global Traveler.
Yeah, and what was involved with that?
Oh, it's a swanky affair at the Music Box Theater. They serve food and hors d'oeuvres and Coke and not Coca-Cola. Yeah. There might have been Coke in the back room. I didn't go back there.
They didn't have mirrors out there with lines ready to go.
Or dollar bills. But yeah, so yeah, it was fun yesterday.
So did you watch a film, or was it just
No, yesterday, I mean, there were films in other parts, but I went just to enjoy the spectacle of the whole thing. There was a big outdoor thing, booths and whatnot, and then there was the little soiree inside. Yeah, I just hobnobbed a little bit, rubbed shoulders, ate food, good appetizers. They had some like little shrimpy things, and
yeah. You just mooched off the whole thing, basically.
I took what my coverage allowed. I didn't want to insult them, just grab my press pass and leave. That's rude.
Yeah.
Somebody went through a lot of trouble to make those snacking. Speaking of that, not to change the subject, but to actually go back to different subjects. Did you look at the menu for this saloon we're going to for Al and David Vox? They have a really fun menu. I'm going hungry there.
Okay. No, I did not, but
they don't have a taco salad. Don't get excited.
Interesting enough, Joseph White, who was on a previous episode with his collectible online store, I had seen him, and he was talking about maybe going to the show as well, but he had looked up the place online, and apparently like there were a lot of really bad reviews about the place. And then the owner himself gets on there and was like sounded like he was very difficult in arguing with everybody and stuff, like, he's very defensive about it and everything. And so then Joe was like, I don't know if I'm going to go down there. It sounds like it might be a little,
This could be
I,
fun.
I'm sure it'll be fine. But so yeah, so it sounded like it could be a rowdy affair, but good food, and we'll definitely have Al Snow to check out, and David, and so I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be fun.
And you get an hour there and back with me.
No, well, I'm gonna get you some sort of sedative or something to put you down, so you're just knocked out for that period of time until I get us there. Then I'll like inject you with some insulin or some, I don't know, something to wake you up.
How about one of the just the stab to the heart thing, like in Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, I think that was adrenaline.
Adrenaline, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to stab you in the heart.
Or the back.
So uh, so I don't know if you've noticed on the last few episodes, but we've added a little bit of intro music and some music in the transitions.
I have. Or were you
Um,
talking to the fans?
no, I'm talking to you, buddy.
All right. Well, I didn't know if that was a generic, like, you were going to go into explanation for the viewers or listeners.
This whole thing is me and you talking to each other. I'm not talking to the
Yeah, I
people.
know, but we're
People are listening to us talk to each other. That's how this
we're
works.
also enlightening them about various things.
Well, we are trying. Um, anyway, they're just short little clips, but they're done by my brother, who works under the name Professor Kliq, Kliq. But the reason I'm bringing him up isn't because of that. He just he has done music for many video games. I think about 6 or 7 now. But his most recent one he did is called Spiderheck, and it's actually getting a lot of traction. It seems like, I turn on my Xbox, and on the front screen there it is, being advertised. Download Spiderheck and everything. And what it is it's like this. It's you play as spiders. So it's like a multiplayer game. You can play it by yourself, but you can play it online, and everybody are spiders, and these spiders have lightsabers and can throw bombs, and of course shoot webs and swing from things and climb up stuff. And so it's a very uh and they're all like kind of neon and stuff. But my brother did all the music for this game, and it's some of my favorite stuff just in general that he's done. But it's great music for the. It really gives the game its theme. It gives its mood. Like visually, it looks pretty awesome. It's very simple, but it's like the spiders are all neon, and and the lightsabers and all that sort of stuff. But I think that the music does make a difference in it and really ties the whole thing together and stuff. So yeah, I'm talking to the people out there.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
I thought we were only talking to each other.
Starting as of this sentence, if you are interested at all, check out the game. I don't think it costs very much. But if nothing else, if you want to listen to the music, it is on Spotify. Just look up Professor Kliq, and the soundtrack for Spiderheck is on there. I dig it.
I love your brother, man. And I used to have so much fun doing interviews or just hanging with him. For some reason, no pun intended, we kind of clicked on interviews. There was always like a good.
You guys did really, yeah. No, you guys had a good rapport too, man. I mean, yeah, I loved seeing the interviews with him, man. Granted, he was half in the bag for a majority
Sometimes.
of them,
There were
but
a few he wasn't.
no, there were some sober ones there too. But you were catching him at the end of the night at a wrestling show, so
That was perfect.
yeah. But but still, yeah, it was. I love seeing those, and yeah, he's a great guy. I love him to death, and I'm just real proud of him. I've got the unique perspective of having seen him since he was born, and seeing him go and become interested in music and start making music. And and now he's done several video games. He's scored documentaries. He has several albums of his own that he's put out. He's done commercials. I mean, I had a friend who was on a flight out to Greenland, I think, and on the flight they played a documentary about Greenland, And in the intro credits, it said music by Professor
Wow,
Kliq.
that's got to be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was on an international flight, and that came up, and he messaged me. He was like, "Dude, I'm like, I had no idea your brother did this, but I just saw his name on this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, he told me about it and everything." I never saw the documentary, but uh, yeah. So anyway, he's a cool guy. Maybe I'll pick a couple of choice interviews you did with him, and we'll put them on the YouTube page. Link them over there so that people can check that out.
Do the one where we were at the Resistance, I think, where he was the ring announcer. That was one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He did ring announcing one night for us. We were going through a spell where we didn't have ring announcers, and so once again it became my responsibility. So like I got my buddy Quinn did it for a few shows, and was great. And then yeah, my brother, I got him on one of them. I said, just one time, but it was cool because we also got to do their photographer Mike Vinicor had we got to do a few photos together and stuff, my Eric St. Vaughn gear and him in his suit, and do a little brother photo shoot, which is awesome. So but anyway, I love the kid. Check out Professor Kliq. Even if you don't like the soundtrack, check out some of his other stuff. Guns Blazing is a real easy one to start with, which is the song actually that the show kicks off with.
There you go.
I thought we should come out guns blazing every episode. So
I like it.
it works.
Hopefully we don't get canceled from the anti-gun people. Real quick, as you were saying about your seeing your brother's name on there, I had flashback to something when I was on the way. I was at O'Hare. I was on the way to my gate trying to catch the early flight, and I hear Lightfoot come over the loudspeaker, and it freaked me out because as Mayor Lightfoot, blah blah blah. Welcome to O'Hare Airport, winner of the best airport for the last 18 years by Global Traveler magazine, and I freaked out.
No kidding! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I immediately texted. Well, I got on the flight, and then I texted Fran Gallagher, CEO, and he, of course, like you, he goes, "Well, did you record it?" I go, well, "No, I was like racing on the air."
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Well, it does repeat though, doesn't it? So
yeah, but it doesn't repeat like every 10 seconds.
No. I understand.
By the time I heard it, I couldn't, grab my phone, and it was too late. But it was pretty cool to hear that because, as we said, nobody's ever heard of Global Traveler magazine. But yeah, kind of cool.
People at O'Hare hearing about it.
Yeah. And by the way, real quick,
yeah.
polarized lenses. That's what these are.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Well, if anyone else out there wears polarized lenses and can sympathize with Johngy, reach out and we can swap stories about.
Oh wait, now are we talking to the people again? I thought we were just talking to each other.
Well, you keep it up, and you're going to be talking to yourself. So
I would enjoy that more. No flack. The Johngy or Johngy podcast.
Jeez.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
So great.
Yeah, the Nobody Else podcast. Yeah, starring John Robleski. Yeah.
Oh, well, boom.
In the future, if anyone ever calls you Johngy Boom Boom Robleski, just give him.
I will say,
"Hi there."
Hi there.
There you go. All right.
Can I just go? Boom, 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 boom.
No, that's not enough. That's a little too inside baseball for some people. I mean, at least if you watch the show, not everybody who watched the show knew why it was called.
They should.
Well, I think if you were a regular watcher, you should. Yes. Yeah. We like to check in once in a while on some of our fellow Resistance Pro alumni, and we heard yesterday that Sarah Logan is returning to the WWE
as part with her husband. Well, her husband's already there. She is returning to be connected with her husband in the Viking Raiders, whatever they are.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
exactly where she would be. Yeah, she was Crazy Mary Dobson in Resistance Pro. She's now Sarah Logan, but yeah, her husband is one half of the Viking Raiders, and she will absolutely fit into that faction perfectly. It's gonna, I mean, ever since Trip, and I don't want to get into a big wrestling thing, but ever since Triple H got put in charge, I mean, he's like undoing everything that, I mean, like at a from like
Yeah.
it's like when Trump went into office and was just like changing everything, like every day he was signing a new thing about something. It's like Triple H is doing the same thing. He's like, all right, we're bringing back Braun Strowman, we're bringing back the Bray Wyatt, we're gonna bring back the OC. You know, it's like let's get
It's all
Sarah
good
Logan.
stuff,
Yeah, it's all good stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I think it's
except for
exciting.
X5.
I think it's exciting. You know, I'm real excited about where things are going to go now that this guy's running the show. I love it. I love it.
Well, let me
Uh,
ask you though, how, like, I was surprised that, I thought she was done with wrestling. It just seemed
I
like she was
will. I
acting on
will.
her farm.
I will say that I never thought like she was done, but I didn't think even still she'd come back as soon as she is, you know. But I mean, good for her. I'm glad. I'm excited. It'll be fun to watch. And I think that'll be exactly what the Viking Raiders need to really put them over. I mean, they've done well. They've been one of the top teams on the show for a while, but I mean, I think there's like just a certain element that's been missing, and I think she's going to make that work. I think she's going to tie it together.
Do you see
So
a feud with Judgment Day?
who knows? Who knows? Anyway, like I said, I didn't want to get into a big wrestling thing. We got to save that for our other show. But I did want to check in on one other wrestler. My old tag team partner, Brady Pierce, first of all, was doing stunt doubling on a show called Heels, which is about wrestling, for one of the lead characters on the show. Um, so he got to do that, but he just recently appeared or filmed for The Walking Dead.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. As
yeah.
as a
Like as a yeah, as a, I mean he's not a zombie, you know what I mean? Like he's a
no, but I mean, he's
guy.
got a role. He's not just a
Right. Yeah.
stunt double
It
or
looks
anything
like
like that.
it's like him and like two other guys or something like that, you know, that are
Oh,
like
good for him.
in
Yeah,
this scene or
good
something.
dude.
I don't know the context, but it's not like he just, you know, is one of the 100 people in a zombie costume. I mean, like he actually has he's got a costume and the whole thing and stuff. He was showing pictures. He had a picture with him and the guy who plays Daryl, you know, and everything. So um
So you would
great.
say after breaking away from you, he's gone on to bigger, better things,
I'd
sort of
say
like a
after
Shawn Michaels to a Marty Jannetty.
no, I would say more like you know, I feel like a proud father who helped launch him into, you know, greatness.
Yeah,
And
I'd say more Marty Jannetty.
you know, and I'm sure he feels a great deal of debt and gratitude towards me for helping, get him out there and make him
Oh, God
known,
knows I do.
you know. So he's you know, but he knows where he came from. He knows where he came from, and
Yeah.
he knows who got him where he is.
Oh
So
yeah.
but I am very proud of him. I'm very happy for him. He was always nothing but an absolute cool dude to me. I loved working with him, and I hope to see him keep doing bigger things, and I'm glad to see him getting into acting, and he's done some modeling too. So I mean, you know, he's living up the body magic style. He's doing it right, you know.
Well,
So
while we're on the subject of alumni, today we're recording on Billy Stark's birthday. Billy Stark's a former guest on our show.
oh
Happy
well, happy
birthday,
birthday
Billy.
to her. I
I
saw a
think she's
funny.
like 18.
Yeah, I know. That's I I was with someone the other night and they actually had listened to the Billy Stark show and they said, you know, can you show me one of her matches? So I found one with her versus uh, Ruby Soho. So I was like, there you go. That's a solid match. Let's watch that.
Sure.
And we're watching it and she's like 17, right? I'm like, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I'm like, at
He's still in
best,
high school.
I was like that maybe she's 18, but I'm like, but last time we talked to her, yeah, I would keep her at 17 right now. So Well, good for her. Happy birthday to Billy Starks. She's got a match coming up with our guest from our last episode, Mrs. Kate, against
And Shaza
Shaza
McKenzie.
McKenzie. So, you know, it all filters through this podcast and then goes back out into the world, and you know, we're helping the world one episode at a time.
Yeah.
Although I will I did want to bring up one thing.
I know this is going to be another concealer coming into the back. Go ahead.
Well, so I typically don't like to give up, guests that we have coming on or anything like that. But all I'll say is that there's a good chance that we're going to have a someone who's involved with roller derby on at some point. And John gets me the information, tells me about this and everything. And he sends me a text
Oh, we're not talking to each other again now. We're talking to the audience.
explaining. I'm telling you, I'm gonna just end this.
You're gonna hang up on me? Is that what you're gonna
hang
say?
up on you. Yeah, I'm gonna hang up on you.
Okay, Grandpa.
I mean, it's so. This is the text. Things to know. This roller derby is a real sport with rules, scoring, etc. Despite that, they all use work names. They are very inclusive.
Oh, excuse me for trying to enlighten you, you dolt.
I've been to the roller derby before.
I explained this already. All roller derbies have different rules. They don't follow the same set.
Okay, but what you're describing is a very vague and general description of what roller derby is. You're not telling me about okay, but this place does this differently, or
I wasn't. Was I supposed to put it all in text? I figured here's just a brief.
Well, at this point, why bother? I mean, and
so I would remember.
And in all fairness,
small brain would go, "Hey, John, what did you mean by this?"
In all fairness, my response was, "I know what the fuck roller derby is." Oh man, I just
what I have to put up with.
You have to put up with. I read that, and I'm like, that's like saying we might talk to a baseball player. Now, here's the deal: it's a real sport. They wear uniforms, they have bats, and they have balls.
So it's okay.
And they play in a stadium. So just so you don't come unprepared.
When you came out to the Chicago Bliss, was I not supposed to tell you a few things? About there's only 7 players and this, that. Just go in there blindly. No, I try to help.
No, but that was a situation where there was something.
I forgot you went to roller derby.
There was something unique.
When I don't give you information, it's it would have been nice if you gave me some information about this. I just go in blindly.
I don't ever say that. I said that about you booking guests. You just, just throw in, such and such time and this name, and we're, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm there. But anyway, you should
be grateful for the guest I'm booking.
Yeah. Well,
God willing, we got a good one tomorrow night. Got a good one tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's true. We do have a good one tomorrow night, hopefully.
Tropical, sort of.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe she delivers a punch.
Okay, just take it easy. Just relax. Hey, I'm going. I get going on tonight. I'm going to a concert tonight. Actually,
you're going to see? Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to see They Might Be Giants.
Well, are they or aren't they?
Well, I'll find out. I actually saw them live, probably 20 years ago at U of I when my friends were still in college, and went out there to see them. It was a good show. I mean, it's been 20 years. So no, they're playing one of their most popular albums was one called Flood, and that's the one that had Istanbul and as Constantinople, and then oh god, what was the other one? I don't remember. But it was a seminal album for them, and so tonight I guess they're playing the whole thing start to finish.
And where are they playing?
They're going to be at the Riv, actually, which will be the first time I've been. Last time I was there was years ago, but it was to go see Marilyn Manson when I got to go backstage there. So
Name
that was cool.
dropper.
Hey man, it it happened. I got to do it. I'm not gonna be shy about it. It was fun. Uh, but yeah. Now I will say that I can tell I'm getting older because I only dawned on me today. I'm like, man, we're gonna be standing that whole time, aren't we? Just like I'm like, because there's gonna be an opening band, and it doesn't start till 8. Just like
Or are you going to nap beforehand?
I might, man. I don't know.
You
But yeah,
driving
so
in?
so that's exciting. Yeah, but I'm going with a buddy and he's driving. So
Oh, and when the show starts at 8, so you'll probably leave your place around 6.
yeah, I got a client until 5:30 and then I'm just heading straight over to his place and he lives about 20 minutes away. So we'll probably be taking off about 6 or so. And then we're picking somebody up out, but they're already out in the city, so it's not a big deal. And hopefully somewhere in there we might grab some food too. So
And do you have the address of the Riv? I forget where exactly it is.
do I have the address of the Riviera?
Yeah, or
No.
about where it is. No.
I
Well,
I don't I no, and I don't even have a good grasp on, I'm not good with the city, so I couldn't even
oh,
tell you like
I
what
was
it
going to
might.
give you some food suggestions, but I forget exactly where it is. So.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you like what it's near or anything. So I think the only time I went to the Riv was for Manson. I think I might have seen Fiona Apple there once. Now that I'm thinking about it, but anyway, um, what else is going on in
It's on
Johngy?
4746 North Racine. So
I don't know.
Lawrence and Racine. I
That
don't
means
really know a lot of places to eat
that
there.
means nothing to me. I don't, I don't do the city, so
Western, you know where Western is?
I know it exists. I don't know like about where. So no, I'm useless in the city, man. I'm
A
just
couple miles
useless.
northwest of Wrigley Field. How's that?
Okay, that helps. I mean, I know Wrigley Field is on the north side, so
Remember where that wrestling show was in the high school? Because this is fascinating to the listeners. Remember where the wrestling show was in high is at Amundsen High School? It's maybe about 2 or 3 miles west of that. So that's
oh
about right.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember where that school was either, so
So
I just knew it was in
you
the
can just
city.
edit this part out.
Anything else in the world of John Robleski to share with anybody?
That's it, man. I'm exhausted. I'm spent.
Yeah. Well, I think that being said, we'll call it a day. Um, since you don't really do, the new media champ, by the way, since you don't really do much in the way of self promotion, and our fans will just have to seek out information about us, where on the internet can they find Jonathan Boom Boom Robleski?
They can find me. Just look for Johngy's Beats. You'll find me everywhere. But more importantly, you'll find me on the Johngy or Else podcast, available on Spotify and YouTube and Facebook. But where, oh, where, oh, where, oh, where could they find Tommy Else?
Well, John, they can find me on the gram at Tommy_else. They can find me on the twit at Tommy_else. They can find me on the tube, both on the Tommy Else YouTube channel and the Johngy or Else YouTube channel. And they can find us on Pro Wrestling Tees, where they can get their Johngy or Else t-shirts, available in color and black and white, and also now in a hoodie form in the colored black and red one. So get yours today. Oh, and by the way, we should mention, we did say on the last episode that if somebody got us a photo of them wearing a Johngy or Else t-shirt, they would win an undisclosed prize.
And
And
what did she ask for?
uh Kristen Kliss had gave us a photo of her and wearing her shirt, and so yes, she is entitled to a prize. I think she was making a joke, when she asked if she was going to win a Johngy's Beat T-shirt,
Seemed like a
which
reasonable request. Seemed
um,
heartfelt.
well, I think she, I think she just doesn't want to bankrupt us or anything, like, because my thought was like 60-inch flat screen. I was like, just hook her up.
Oh, come
But
on. No,
um
60-inch flat screen John's B t-shirt. You go with a t-shirt.
but I guess we can, if that's it. So I know they come in the entire rainbow of colors.
No, they don't.
This guy's the
They
Skittles
no,
of
they don't come in the
t-shirts.
rainbow colors. Under in the Pro Wrestling Tees website, she could look and pick whatever shirt she wants there. There's a few different designs from artists, limited editions, special editions. I think they do come in a woman's shirt as well. I'm not positive on that.
It is one nice thing I like about, or one of the nice things I like about Pro Wrestling Tees is you do have some options there with, women's sizes or material and things like that. Because I like the soft, stretchy material, and I'm willing to pay a couple extra bucks for that. So, but yeah, so congratulations, Kristen. We will get you a John G's Beat short, and you can use it to, wipe off.
Hey,
Use it as a rag or something like that, wax
you
the
know, you're
car,
not only insulting me, you're insulting her because that's what she mentioned.
well, maybe she needs another rag in the house. I don't know. She's
3D.
would you stop? You and this I... All right. Well, for the John G. Else podcast, I have been who else? Tommy Elson. With me as always, the man on the beat from johngsbeat.com, Mr. John Robleski.
Peace.